a sign of the times that food has become a newsworthy topic. In simpler, less expensive times, you might read a feature or two in the lifestyle pages of your favorite website. But these days, food-related stories have a real impact on our lives or reveal something that we didn't know or frankly hadn't thought about. Such is the case with the top 10 food stories of the year as compiled by our friends at the Agri-Food Analytics Lab at Dalhousie University. And naturally, we are delighted to welcome the Senior Director of the organization, Professor Sylvain Charlebois. Always great to see you, Sylvain. Thanks for joining us.
Good afternoon, Bruce. This is our annual ritual.
It is.
We do this every year.
We do. You provided a great list here, as always, and I'd like to cover it all. So we'll start with number 10. This is something you called Crown Royal Theatrics.
Yes, it happened in Ontario. If you remember, Premier Doug Ford poured a bottle of Crown Royal, and it lasted about 20 years because the stopper was in there. You remember. But his point was, oh my goodness, Diageo, the company, was leaving Canada.
Bottle, and I don't even drink of Crown Oil, right?
And you had the disappearance of some iconic Canadian.
So this is what I think about
exactly.
That's what they
and
do.
so.
And I think everyone else should do the same thing.
He was asking people to dump a product made by unionized workers in Manitoba and Quebec.
Yeah.
And he didn't say it. And so he was upset, which is fine as a premier, because the Windsor bottling plant was closing. But in actuality, the bottle, if you're drinking Crown Royal, it's still made in Canada, and it's going to continue to be made in Canada. So lots of theatrics, little explanation, for sure.
Okay, so we mentioned the candies and the chocolate bars at number 9. Number 8 was the Buy Canadian and maple washing phenomenon, as you called it.
Absolutely, lots of attention. Of course, we walked in the grocery store, and it felt like Canada Day every day.
Yeah.
I mean, you had maple leaves like everywhere. But what came after was a bit disturbing with the maple washing going on. I mean, even in August, September, we were noticing that some almonds were Canadian, oranges were Canadian.
Sure. Canadian olives, etc.
Exactly,
yeah,
and prices were inflated as a result, and there were many cases in the Atlantic, actually, so it made a lot of people upset, and so that was certainly that was a newsworthy item that made the list this year.
Meat counter economics, you said, came in at number 7.
Every year, there's at least one piece, one component of the meat trifecta that goes up in price, and last year was beef. But this year was everything. Everything is more expensive. Beef, chicken, pork. To be honest, right now, the good news is that the cheapest meat out there is turkey, just 1 week before the holidays. So that's the good news there.
Number 6 was the GST holiday. Got a huge reaction, sparked a big debate about, well, we should make this permanent.
It happened this year. Do you remember?
Vaguely. It seems a long time ago now, doesn't it?
A year ago, our food inflation rate was at minus 0.6% because of the GST holiday. So there's a lot of talk right now. You know, a lot of groups are suggesting maybe, just maybe, taxing food is not a good idea.
Yeah.
And I agree with them, absolutely. Both retail and in service, and a lot of Nova Scotians, a lot of people in the Atlantic took advantage of the GST holiday.
For sure. You listed GLP-1s transforming food demand as number 5.
I got to tell you, I mean, it made the list last year, made the list this year again. Why? Because, I mean, you talk to snacking companies, you talk to any food company, they see it in revenues. People are drinking less, they're eating less, they're looking for protein. It's changing a lot of things in the food industry. Now, I don't want to comment on whether or not this is good for people. We're just looking at how it's impacting the food industry, and it is impacting the food industry. And starting in January, generic GLP-1s will be available 1/3 of the price.
Wow. Cloned meat, you called it a disaster at number 4.
Health Canada did not look good on this one. They were about to approve cloned meat without telling anyone. Like, how brilliant was that? And so they were outed by our lab, actually, in October. And I mean, you guys picked it up. A lot of media picked it up, and only to realize that consumers just didn't want it. And so they decided to pause the process of approval, and they just didn't look good as regulators, to be honest. And frankly, I think it's time for regulators to show more respect towards consumers with proper labeling.
I honestly thought that this would be your number one, but it came in number 3, and this was tariffs and counter tariffs hitting our food prices.
Yeah, well, I mean, it made the podium. So, of course, tariffs, and of course, we had counter tariffs on March the 4th of this year. And tariffs are bad for the economy.
Sure.
It's a they're a stupid idea, but we had to go with it. It's the reaction to tariffs in the United States that really made things much worse. But as of September 1st, Prime Minister Carney eliminated all tariffs, which was really a good thing. And Donald Trump also eliminated his tariffs on food just close to American Thanksgiving, which is also helping Americans, but the damage is done, unfortunately.
Grocer Code of Conduct takes effect, I think, January 1st, right? That came in at number 2.
Yeah, this is an obscure policy. I have great hopes. I think it's going to help consumers over time by stabilizing prices and protecting processors. A lot of farmers in the Atlantic do deal with grocers, and they don't like it. They have too much power. So the Code of Conduct will level the playing field, helping farmers, helping suppliers deal with overpowering grocers. So hopefully it will stabilize prices for consumers.
And the number one item on your list was structural food inflation. Structural food inflation.
Well, I mean, last year, greedflation was the number one story.
Sure.
But this year, greedflation, we're still hearing about, people accusing grocers of greed. But what I'm feeling right now, Bruce, is that more and more people are starting to question structural issues like interprovincial trade barriers, like labor laws that we have in Canada, like the carbon pricing policy that we have in Canada. All of the logistics, ports that we have. Are these things making food more expensive? And I think people have started to question other things than greed, which is certainly a good thing from a policy perspective. And that was our number one choice because it impacts food prices and food affordability.
And will for the future as well. Sylvain, always great to talk to you. Thank you so much for joining us, and happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you as well.
Sylvain Charlebois, the Senior Director of the Agri-Food Analytics Lab at Dalhousie University, perhaps better known as Canada's food professor, joining us tonight to run through the organization's top food stories of 2025. Stay with us. We'll be right back.